I was trying to figure out what it was about this season that made it feel so different from the previous seasons, besides just aesthetic things. I mean, yes, they combined the intros or part of the intros from the previous 4 seasons to here. You got the beginning introduction of the guest star differently with them coming in the door and talking to Pop, I think is who the Muppet was. And for me, it was I knew more of these people. It wasn't, oh, I know who that person is. It was after hearing their music generally that I'm like, oh, I've heard this music before. I know who this person is, even if I don't know the name directly. Besides one or two, like Roger Moore, obviously. But there was something else about it that I was like, what is it that makes this feel different than the other seasons? And I think it's just more of the insanity. I saw the Jim Henson documentary on Disney Plus, and I think they said with this final season, Jim Henson was just getting tired. He was overworked. So he let other people take more control of the show. I think that's what it was. Because if that's the case, then it's pretty obvious here. Because yes, the guest stars had always played exaggerated versions of themselves for the most part, as the show progressed, definitely. But here, man, they really played exaggerated versions of themselves. It was just a lot more noticeable here, I felt like, than it was in previous seasons. I think they went even more absurd with some of the stories that they told, some of the things that happened, while the show was going on. It just felt like, they just kind of threw everything they had at it. They had these ideas they wanted to do. I guess overall, it was still a lot of fun. I still laughed. I still smiled. Thought it was hilarious. And I love seeing the characters. But I feel like with them at least knowing or thinking that it was their final season, which they never mentioned that in the final episode, I feel like they kind of just went for it. They definitely built on the characters, Kermit's and Piggy's relationship definitely got built up. Stuff with Fozzie, stuff with the two old guys, I forget their names and all that. They definitely kept that going and they went further with that. But like I said at the beginning, it just felt different. It was still entertaining and I still enjoyed it. So if you've checked out the other seasons, then yes, of course, check this one out. But this, for me, wouldn't be the one that I would definitely start with.